Yo, what's up? It's DJ Kash, the Fly Haitian Kid. Of course, I got a very special guest in the building, Skillibeng himself, Mr. Wap 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 himself, Skilly Wagwan.
Is there?
Yo, blessed man. It's really dope to have you in Atlanta because Atlanta's a special city. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Atlanta is like really growing as far as the Caribbean scene and the African diaspora. So to see you come here and bless the stage, you know what I mean? It's a dope thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've always wanted to come to Atlanta too, so shout out to Atlanta. Atlanta's a very special place when it comes on to hip hop. So I love Atlanta.
You know, it is, and it's crazy because I don't like to compare artists, but when I first heard you, you reminded me a lot of Young Thug.
Young Thug.
Only because it's not necessarily even in style, but you reminded me a lot because you were a little different than the other artists.
Difference.
Yeah, and I remember immediately hearing you and saying, I don't know if this might go over some people's head. And that's exactly how I felt when I met Thug. When I met Thug, I was like, yo, this guy's a star, and he might go over some people's heads. It might take some time for people to catch up to him, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So do you feel like that at times?
No, it's just for me, it's a strategy I use.
Mm-hmm.
Like being and sounding different to cause to make a statement, you know?
Right.
Yeah, so that's done by me on purpose.
So how do you deal with that as an artist and like when it comes to music like that? Because your music, like WAP for example,
Yeah.
I remember the label had gave that to me and they asked me to service it to all the DJs and all the soundmen in the city. You know what I'm saying? So not everybody got it right away, but definitely about a 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, they got it. So like, how is it being so far ahead of the curve sometimes with the music? Like I got to be frustrating sometimes that people don't get it right away, but later on, when it's the hottest song ever, they on it.
It doesn't frustrate me. It's not even an obstacle for me or early. It's just like something for me to do. Like I gotta do it, you know, because nobody's doing that.
Right.
Nobody's doing that, like going hard in the studio to make new sounds for their fans and stuff like that. So I understand when a person doesn't really get it at the first listen, and that's cool, you know, because automatically you catch on to the vibe later. Mm-hmm. And I've been getting used to that, so it's like nothing to me.
Right. So like we've all heard the opinions of the older generation on their thoughts in trap dancehall and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Do you even consider yourself a trap dancehall artist?
I am a dancehall artist. I don't consider myself as a trap dancehall artist, but I'm a dancehall artist. People say my sound is trap.
Trap dance, yeah.
So I'm not gonna really argue with anybody, you know, because there's more people out there than there's just me here. So if the people are saying it sounds like trap, that's what it's gonna be for now. And I'm not a person who focuses on making trap dancehall sound. I'm a person who likes making music. So it's all kinds of different sounds for me.
Right. The dope thing I think about your music is like, I'm around being on the radio and doing all these clubs. I'm around all of these trap artists that are from it, born and raised in Atlanta, that are here in Atlanta. And me, I've always been the one to push the Caribbean and African culture as much as I can in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I've never really heard like the Futures and the Thugs and the Gunners be more receptive to a dancehall artist than your sound. Why do you think they relate to your sound so much?
I don't know, it's just my sound. It's just the sound, exactly what you're saying now, it's just the sound of my music. And it's just a blessing I got, you know, that's my voice right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Has any of them reached out to you to work?
A lot of artists reached out to me, but you know, I won't say, but a lot of artists reached out to me. Even most of my collaboration done in the past with international artists, they reached out to me.
Right.
So it's been like that.
Right. Is there anybody that stands out to you that you have in your mind? Because it seems like when you do music, it's really calculated.
Yeah.
So do you have anybody in your mind that say like, yo, I need to do a record with this person, and when I do, it's gonna be like next level?
Yeah, I do, but my favorite person who I really wanted to do a collaboration with was Vibes Cartel, and I already did a collaboration with Vibes Cartel. So now it's like I'm just experimenting, like doing new songs with new artists, even artists that are on the come up, you know?
Right.
Yeah, so it's not even about that, it's just doing the work now.
Right. So it's like your first real time you got to touch the road since like you've been seeing your success because of the pandemic and everything like that. What city has like embraced you the most so far?
Every city.
Yeah.
It's every city.
Because I know here loves you, but London's gonna give people a run for their money because it's like
London is different. London is different, but it's just now I see like everywhere I go there's love.
right.
So it's hard to like say which city is like, because I've not been in every city.
Right,
yet.
right.
I've not been everywhere yet, so it's kind of hard for me to say which city like shows me the most love, because it's like every city that I go to, I get mad tons of love.
I think the reason why London gives you like that insane amount of love and that it'll be hard for any city to match, I think it's because London like studies music.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Big up London. London is one of my favorites.
Because
Definitely.
because from the surface, right, when with your music, it seems very simple, but when you like do a deep dive and you dissect the music, it seems a lot more intricate.
Yeah.
I think London peeps that.
Yeah.
I think London has always been that city that dissects music and like they're like purists. You know what I'm saying? I think New York and like a couple of cities in America used to be like that, but I think London is still like that. I think that's why you get the love you get.
In London, it's because maybe, and as you said, it's just a little bit more than that, because I used to do a lot of drill music for like, especially London.
Word.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of drill music. And on an international base, I used to like use less lyrics in my songs at times to like relate to people that don't talk patois.
Oh, got you.
So in my time when I was blowing up with Brick on Brick and stuff like that, I just used that formula that I used with Brick on Brick to like make new songs that are slower, catchier, to like an international base.
Right. So in some sense, you kind of have to dummy
On
it
an
down.
international base, huh?
So in some sense, you kind of have to like dummy it down almost.
Yeah.
So if you have this type of success and you're kind of slowing it down so people could catch up, what does it sound like when you're at your full potential then?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Do you plan to drop music like that where it's like I'm not holding back?
I do. But it's been a long time since I've like went in like that. Cause you know, like this style of music that I'm telling you about is doing so much and so faster for me. So I'm just focusing on like getting my image and my sound out there. And after that, when everybody feel like they want to learn some new Jamaican today, or go in depths with the patois language or dialect, they could go listen to some of my tracks where I'm going hard.
I think that's very, very, very important because I think some people who aren't Jamaican or aren't Caribbean at all, like they might like the melodies, they might like the cadence, but they can't follow the patois. So I think that's like brilliant on your end to say, all right, you know what? Let me speak in language. Let me kind of switch it up so they can better understand it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, is there any time you link with an artist that they're like, nah, I don't want that. I want you to speak that raw, straight, yardy like slang?
Yeah, at times, but it's always gonna get there in some point of the song. It's always gonna get there in some point.
It's gonna come out. It's in you. It's who you are, so it's gonna come out.
Yeah, so it's more like sometimes I go slower on the choruses, and in between like the verses I do some lyrical kind of stuff, you know?
Right.
'Cause,
Kind of back and forth.
yeah, back and forth, because even in Crocodile Teeth and stuff like that, I was spitting mad bars in Crocodile Teeth in the second verse. I was going crazy. So, in a simple way too, I was like using metaphoric lyrics, shorter, more catchier, more like stingier lyrics, like on point, sharp. So the international market could really hear me and like understand or try to understand what I'm saying in part one, because I'm saying it in an easier way.
Right. I'm glad you brought up Crocodile Teeth, because I remember the first time hearing it and just thinking like the song was like super dope, right? But the lyrics in that is just like, it's on par with like whoever you would say is a hip hop artist, because we tend to put hip hop artists above all when it comes to lyrical content. You know what I'm saying? That tends to be the bar of where we put people, you know? And when I heard, I'm like, yo, this dude could be in any cipher.
No, but Crocodile Teeth wasn't really lyrical.
What? You don't think so?
It was like me like making a fool of myself in the studio, like dumbing out, like just talking some crazy stuff, you know? It wasn't me like going and like really going in like.
So I'm curious to know what really going in is for you, because if that's
I
a simple thing for you.
I have songs like Mr. Universe,
Mr. Universe,
New Genetics.
That's lyrical too, though.
Lyrics, if you like songs like Lyrics, I have songs like Powerful. Songs like you know that go. A lot of songs that.
So you feel those are more lyrical than Crocodile Teeth?
Yeah, I have a song called Mission. If you listen to Mission right now.
Mission is hard.
It's a whole complete different person. I'm just like spitting bars.
So what makes you make that decision to say, yo, I'm turning up, or let me fall back? What is it, the beat? What does that make you say?
Yeah, the rhythm. Yeah, the rhythm. So it's all about the rhythm. Because I'm a very skeptic beat picker. So sometimes I'm like, I listen like a lot of instrumentals until I find the right one. Until I find the right one, then I start a vibe right then and there and go with the beat.
Right. So speaking of beats, what producers, like, since you've been in the States, since you've been traveling, I know you have to have a wish list of producers that you're like, man, when I get in front of this person, I'm gonna need a pack from this person. Like, who do you think you would make a crazy smash with that you haven't worked with yet?
I don't think about it like that. It's always like about the beat for me. So if the producer has the right beat, I mess with him.
Right. But so there's no producer in particular you'd be like, yo, I gotta work with this person.
Yeah, but I'm not really familiar with every one of them. Like, it's only a small amount I'm familiar with. I did some work with DJ Khaled. I did some work with Mustard.
With Mustard?
Yeah.
That gotta be
DJ
different.
Mustard.
That gotta be different.
It's not really a bunch of producers. Since I've been in ATL, I've been listening to some ATL. What's his name? ATL Jacob?
Yeah, he dope.
Some ATL Jacob beats. So it's just since going through, eventually I get to like really know the producers like individually, because I'm not really familiar. Because I don't really look out for producers. I listen for the beat.
So it don't really matter the name.
Nah, as long as they got the beat. As long as they got the beat.
It's the feeling.
And the right beat and it sounds good, because that's music.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. You know what I mean? I came here and I luckily found my success here in Atlanta some years ago. You know what I mean? But you know, the saying in my hood is always like, you gotta leave to get the success you really want. You know what I'm saying? Do you ever feel like that with Jamaica? Do you ever feel like, for me to like reach certain heights, I kind of gotta leave?
Yeah, you don't have to, but at least you gotta do what you gotta do to get there. It's not about like leaving, but leaving would be more beneficial, because you could get to go like places like, what if you won a Grammy?
Right.
How would you collect the Grammy? Like certain stuff you just have to do. Like when I was living in St. Thomas at first, that's the east side of Jamaica. It was kind of harder to get like on mainstream in Jamaica.
Right.
You had to be where everything was happening, like Kingston, where all of the music was popping, where the radio stations and all of that was.
So you had to move to the city.
Yeah, so
Right.
eventually, day by day, I get bigger, and if I want to get bigger, then like, say for instance, like, leave from like a Caribbean state to like a international state, you're gonna have to like make move.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's the same concept.
It's the same concept. It's the same concept, and until you go everywhere, or you know, cover everywhere, because you don't have to go everywhere. You could cover everywhere.
Right.
Unless, as long as you put that work in, you could cover everywhere.
Right.
Because putting in the work is the most important thing. Without the material, you can't.
Why do you think some artists don't leave? Because sometimes, you know, you watch some dudes and you're like, bro, why don't you just leave, bro?
No. Maybe it's just like a person's state of mind or what they love, you know? A cultural thing. Nothing is wrong with leaving, but I don't like the idea of leaving where you was originally from, though.
Right.
But some people just think about it different. I don't have a problem with leaving, but I gotta go back someday, sometime.
Right. I mean, you can always go back to visit, but some artists, it's a struggle because it's like they just constantly, that's why then like they constantly go back and they constantly get into trouble. Because like in New York, we got something we call the hip hop police. You know what I'm saying? It's like their whole job is to try to catch rappers messing up. You know what I'm saying? And without getting too much in detail and too political, we all know there's some bad mind people that are in certain areas that just waiting for certain artists and entertainers to mess up so they can catch them, you know what I mean? So that's why I say sometimes it's better to just move away from that and be in a space where they don't know you as that person. You know what I mean?
but as an artist, anywhere you go, you're gonna be known as that person. So even in these neighborhoods you say we're supposed to go in, there's always gonna be a person next door or somewhere down the block that's gonna be like a hip hop police.
Yeah, but that animosity might not be there.
It won't, but at the end of the day, you can't. You could move a nigga from the hood, but you can't take the hood out of the nigga, because that's just what it is.
Right.
That's just what it is, and you can't judge a nigga that gonna be like saying like he don't want to move from the hood. That's just what he is, and he knows he's accepted there.
Right.
He doesn't want to go through a whole new process of being accepted at the next place. But my thing is like I need to have places everywhere. I need anywhere I want to go, I could just go there.
Got you.
That's my thing.
But that's sensible though.
Yeah.
Because if it gets too hot here, all right, boom, we out to Miami. If it gets too hot here, boom, we out to London. Then you know.
Yeah, that's my ultimate goal, to just be anywhere I want to be. So it's not about moving from the ghetto or none of that.
Right. So what does it feel like now, bro? Like, I remember, I just remember seeing those clips of you being out there. I think it was at the O2 in London, and that crowd, bro. It's like insane. How you go from making these tunes and then it's quarantine and then now to sold out O2. Like that gotta be an amazing feeling, bro.
It is an amazing feeling, but that's the feeling you've been working for. Because my whole mindset through the whole pandemic was have material ready for when everything's back to normal, and that's what happening.
Because I heard your team was more so kind of like, all right, let's just chill right now, let Brick kind of do his thing, and let's just chill till we could get back outside. And I heard you was like, nah.
No.
I heard you was like, nah, make we work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The work's gotta be put in. Like I seen where the work had to be put in, cause like now, I'm still not chilling now, but if I wanted to chill like now in terms of recording, I could, but because there's a whole catalog of music I could perform, but I'm still at it.
Right.
Yeah, because that's what keeps you fresh. That's what keeps you going through years and years of music.
Right.
Yeah, being consistent with your sound and to your fans.
Man, thank you for coming, bro. I really hope you can lock in with ATL Jacob. 'Cause I think y'all will make something amazing, or maybe even invent something like a new sound. 'Cause I think it'll be dope.
Yeah, it would.
You know what I mean? I think it'll be real dope. So appreciate you coming through. Bless. Thank you.